We continue now at the top of Daf Chaf Beis Amud Aleph in Mesechet Sanhedrin. This is Sanhedrin Daf 22a. On the previous Amud, the Gemara brought a brisa which said that it was through Ezra that the ksav, the script of the Torah, was changed. And the Gemara now brings a pasuk. The pasuk says in Sefer Ezra, "Uchsav hanishtavan kasav aramis umetorgam aramis." It says that the writing of the letter, it was in the Aramaic script, and it was translated Aramaic. Uchsiv, and it's also written in the pasuk. This is a pasuk from Sefer Daniel. Lo chahalin ksav lemikro fisher lo malka. They weren't able to decipher the writing, and they weren't able to interpret it to let the king know what it meant. Uchsiv, and it's also written v'chasav es mishnei haTorah hazos. It says he's going to write mishnei haTorah hazos, and we darshan that to mean ksav haroi lehishtanos. It means to say it's a script that is going to change. And Rashi explains, Uchsav hanishtavan ksav shenishdana. We're darshaning this pasuk to mean it's the script that is going to change. V'haikra be'ezra ksiv, and this pasuk is written in Ezra. Shayukozvim b'yamav ksav meshuna, because they wrote in his days a script that was different. Shenishtana al yedei malach, it was changed through the angel. Shekasav minei tekel ufersin, that's from Sefer Daniel. B'mei Daniel, that was in the days of Daniel. Ksav da'arami, that was written, that was talking about by Belshazzar with the writing on the wall. That was written in Ksav de Arami, in this Arami script. V'loshan Arami, and it was written in the Arami language. V'yomer, and it says in the pasuk in Sefer Daniel, Lo chahalin ksava lemikra, it means to say they weren't able to read the script. Lo hayicholin likros ksav shekasav hamalach. B'mei Belshazzar, they weren't able to read the writing that the Malach wrote in the days of Belshazzar. V'hayu sham Yehudim harbin, there were many Jews over there. Shma minon nishtana lehem oso ksav be'oso hayom. You see that the script changed on that day. And Rashi continues as Mishnei HaTorah. Again, the pasuk says he's going to write the Mishnei HaTorah. That's talking about the king writing the Sefer Torah. The Sefer Torah, Ramaz Lanu Moshe Rabbeinu. Here Moshe Rabbeinu hints to us, Sheksav Shebiyamav, that the script in his days, Asid Lihishtanos min Ivri LaAshuris. In the future, it's going to change from Ksav Ivri to Ksav Ashuris. Shanasan Lahem b'mei Daniel, which was given to them in the days of Daniel. Uva Ezra. Now Ezra comes along, V'chasabo es HaTorah b'Ksav Ashuris, and he writes the Torah in this Ksav Ashuris. And the brisa continues, Lama Nikra Ashuris. Why is it called Ashuris? Sha'ala imohem me'Ashur, because it came up with them from Ashur. And the Gemara continues, Tanya, we learned in a brisa, Rebbe Yomer, Rebbe says, B'tchila b'chsav zen nitin Torah l'Yisrael. Originally, the Torah was given in this script, in the script of Ashuris, to Klal Yisrael. Kevan shechatu, but once they sinned, nepach lohen l'roetz, it became an impairment for them. And kevan shechazru b'hen, and once they returned, they did tshuva, hechziru lehem, then it was returned to them. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, and this is a pasuk in Sefer Zechariah, Shuvu lebitzaro nasirei hatikva, return to the stronghold, prisoners of hope. Gam hayom magid, also today I declare, Mishnah ashiv lach, double I will return unto you. And the brisa continues, Lama nikra shema Ashuris. Why is it called Ashuris? Shema usheres b'chsav, because it is a beautiful script. And Rashi explains, B'chsav zen nitzna Torah l'Yisrael. In this script, the Torah was given to Klal Yisrael. B'mei Moshe, in the days of Moshe, it was given in Ashuris. V'lama lo kahalin kesav mikra. Why weren't they able to read it in Sefer Daniel? Tekeven shechatu, since they sinned, bebayis rishon, in the times of the first Beis Hamikdash, ubizu es haTorah, and they disgraced the Torah, nepach lehem l'roetz, it became an impairment for them, lashon tiratz oyev, sheshechachu, the same language that's used in the pasuk by tiratz oyev and Oz Yashir. And the point is that they forgot how to read that script. Shuvu lebitzaron, the pasuk in Zechariah says, return to the stronghold. Le'ir mivtzar shalachem liYerushalayim. It's referring to the fortified city of Yerushalayim. V'abayis sheni kamisnabin. This is a prophecy about the second Beis Hamikdash. Gam hayom magid mishnah masha shachachta es mishnah haTorah hazos. The Gemara is darshaning that which you forgot in terms of the Torah. Ashav lach, I will return to you. Achzir lach masha shachachta. I'm going to return to you what you forgot. Es mishnah haTorah hazos. Again, return to them the ability to read this ksav Ashuris. And the brisa continues, Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer Mishum Reb Eliezer ben Prata. Reb Shimon ben Elazar says in the name of Reb Eliezer ben Prata, Sha'amar Mishum Reb Elazar HaModai, who says in the name of Reb Elazar HaModai, Ksav Zeh, this kind of writing, Lo Nishtane Kolikar, didn't change at all. It was always Ksav Ashuris, and it never changed. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Vavei HaAmudim, it says the hooks of the poles, Ma Amudim Lo Nishtanu, just like the poles, just like the pillars, they didn't change. Af Vavim Lo Nishtanu, so too those hooks, they did not change. We'll see Rashi in a moment. The Omer, and also says in the pasuk, Ve'al ha-Yehudim kichsavam v'chilashonim, it says to the Yehudim, to the Jewish people, like their script and like their tongue, ma'lashonim lo nishtana, just like their language didn't change, af ksavam lo nishtana, so too their script, it never changed. Elamani mekayim es mishnei haTorah hazos, according to that, what do I do with the pasuk which says, mishnei haTorah hazos? What that teaches us is, l'shtei Toros, it refers to the two Toros that the king has, the two Torahs, achas sheyotzav v'nechneses ima, one goes out and comes in with him, v'achas shemunachas lo beveis genazav, and one of them is placed in his storehouse, osa sheyotzav v'nechneses imo, the one that he takes out with him and brings in with him, osa osakim in kamiya, it's made like an amulet, v'tola bizro, and it hangs by his arm, shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, shivisi Hashem lenegdi samid, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should always be in front of me. And Rashi explains, Vovei ha'amudim, the hooks of the poles, Yiseidos kesef ha'asuyin kimen unkelos v'kavim ba'amudim shebahem ta'uchvin, lulos kali ha'chotzer v'amasach. These were the hooks which they put the loops on when they were hanging curtains by the Mishkan, v'cholin kolos, domin levavin, and all of these hooks, they were similar in shape to the letter Vav. And that's the proof of the Gemara. Alma b'mei Moshe asuyin ha'vavin kegon shalanu. You see that even in the times of Moshe, the Vavs were the same shape that we make the Vav, and that shows that the script never changed. V'ha'amudim lo nishtanu, the girsa we had in the Gemara was that the amudim never changed. Lo garsina la b'tosefta. Rashi says that's not in the Tosefta. Hachi garsina b'tosefta. The following is the text of the Tosefta. Ma l'shonam lo nishtane, just like their language didn't change. To hadivrei hakol b'lashon hakodesh nemra, because everybody agrees the Torah was given in the language of lashon hakodesh. V'adayin b'lashon hakodesh, and it's still in lashon hakodesh. So too again the script never changed. Kimo kamiya. The Gemara then said that the Melech, he has two Sifrei Torah, and one of them is like a kamiyah, like an amulet, ketana b'chsav dak. It means it's very small, with a fine, small writing, shikala loses, which is easy to carry around. And the Gemara brought the pasuk, shivisi Hashem lenegdi, sefer dekra kimimini bal emot, David HaMelech, al shem sefer Torah shebizro amar. This is David HaMelech, referring to the sefer Torah that was in his hand. It talks about his right hand. And the Gemara continues, V'idach, and the other Tana, meaning Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, Hai Shivisi my Darish Bey, what does he do with Shivisi? And the Gemara says, Ahumi boy lei kid Rav Chana bar Bizna, that's needed. The pasuk is needed for the teaching of Rav Chana bar Bizna, the Amar Rav Chana bar Bizna, Amar Rav Shimon Chasida, because Rav Chana bar Bizna says, that Rav Shimon Chasida says, HaMisbal el Tzarech Sheyira Atzmo, Ki ilu Shechina Kenegdo. When a person davens, he needs to see as if the Shechina is opposite him. Shenamar, like it says in the pasuk, Shivisi Hashem, Lenegdi Samid. The pasuk says again, Shivisi Hashem, Lenegdi Tamid. And the Gemara continues, Lo Rabbi Shimon, according to the opinion of Rabbi Shimon in the above Braisa, the Amar Ksav Zel Nishtan, who says that the script never changed. So, Mai Lochal and Ksav Mikra, what does it mean in Sefer Daniel when it says they weren't able to read the writing on the wall? Amar Rav says, B'gematria ichtav lahon. It was written to them in Gematria, meaning to say the same script was used, but it was written in the code of Gematria. Yatis idach pugchamt. That's an atbash. If you change the letters, let's say you change the letter aleph to a tuf, and you change the letter beis to a shin, etc., so then it's going to come out, my parishly, what did he explain to them? Minei tekelu farsin. What it really means when it says yatas idach pugchamt, it really means minei tekelu farsin. And what does that mean? Minei means to say minei elah malchusach. It means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is counting, he's numbering the days of your kingdom. And what does it mean to kel? It means to kill. To kelta b'moznaya v'ishtachas chosir. He's weighed you with the scales and he's found that you are lacking. And what does it mean when it says uparsin? It means prisas malchusach. It means your kingdom is going to be divided. V'yohift l'madai uparas. It's going to be given over to madai and paras. And the Gemara continues with another answer. Shmuel Amar, and Shmuel says, Mamtos nankafe alron. The way it was written was vertically, so if you read it from top to bottom, it's minei tekelu farsin. But if you read it across, it looked like Mamtos nankafe alron. For Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Rabbi Yochanan says, Onam lekes nisrafu. If you read those words backwards, it's minei tekelu farsin. That's how it was written. And Rav Ashi Amar, Rav Ashi says, Nemo kasel porsin. It was written Nemo kasel porsin, which is minei tekelu farsin, with the letters scrambled. And Rashi explains, Lo nishtana kolikar, again according to Rabbi Shimon, the script never changed, mashma lo nishtakach mehem klal. It sounds like he's saying that they never forgot. To aled the Rebbe Asi Lafluki, because he's arguing on Rebbe, who says they forgot. It sounds like they never forgot the script according to Rabbi Shimon. Umay lo chahalim ksav mikri. So what does it mean that they weren't able to read it? And the Gemara said, Yatas, it was written in the Atbash code, be Atbash Midrash Menei Meniach Esazu V'chasa Masha B'tzad Mokom Mem Kosev Yud. It means to say, let's say you have a Yud, so you're going to exchange the Yud for a Mem, Hasmuchala, which is next to it, of Mokom Nun Kosev Tes. The Nun is going to swap with Tes, of Mokom Aleph Kosev Taf, and instead of an Aleph you have a Taf. And so again, using that gematria, that reads Menei Menei Tekel Ufarsin. Ufarsin Shtei Prisos Mashma V'zui Prisos Malchuso. Parsin means to say that it's separated in two. The division of his kingdom, V'yahift L'Madai Uparas, it's going to be given to Madai and Paras. And finally, Rashi says, Mamtus Nan Kefei Alaron Ason Shalosh Tevos Shel Chamisha Osios. You make Menei Menei Tekel Ufarsin. You turn that into 3 words of 5 letters each. Tzeiref Osios Rishonos Shel Kol Teva. First you take the first letter of each word. V'ason Teva Achas, you make that one word. V'achagach Tziref Hashnios or Shlishios. You do the same with the second and the third letters. And that's why they weren't able to read it. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Ein rochven al suso, one is not allowed to ride on the horse of the king. Vein yoshven al kiso, one cannot sit on his throne. Vein mishtamshin b'sharvito, and one is not allowed to use his scepter. Vein rono so kishu mistaber, you're not allowed to look at him while he's getting a haircut. Velo kishu aram, and not while he's naked. Velo kishu beveis hamerchatz, and not while he's in the bathhouse. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, som tasim alecha melech, it says, place over yourself a king. Shetehei a maso alecha, that his fear has to be upon you. And the Gemara says, Amar Rav Yaakov, Amar Rav Yochanan. Rav Yaakov says that Rav Yochanan says, Avishag muteres l'Shlomo. Avishag was mutter to Shlomo HaMelech, v'asura la'Adonia, but she was forbidden to Adonia. And the Gemara explains, muteres l'Shlomo, the reason why she was mutter for Shlomo, the Melechaya, because he was a king, u'melech mishtamish b'sharvito shel melech, and a king is allowed to use the scepter of another king. The point over here is that Avishag served David HaMelech, and Shlomo was allowed to use the scepter, so to speak, of David HaMelech. That's why she was mutter to Shlomo HaMelech, Vasura Ladonia, but she was forbidden to Adonia, to Hedyotu, because Adonia was a regular person. And the Gemara says, Avishag Mahi, what's the story of Avishag? This is in the beginning of Sefer Melachim, Tichsiv, because it's written in the Pasuk, V'hamelech David Zakin Ba Bayam, it says that David HaMelech was old, Vayomru Lo Avodav Yevakshu V'gomer, and his servants said to him that they should find a young woman for him. Uchsiv, and it's written in the Pasuk, Vayevakshu Nara Yafa, they found a beautiful young woman. Uchsiv, and it's written in the Pasuk, V'hanara Yafa Ad Ma'od, it says that she was very beautiful. Vathi lemelech sochenes v'tesharsei. It says that she served the king. Amra, the Gemara says, Amra ninsevan. So she said, let's get married. She said to David HaMelech, we should get married. In this story, David HaMelech never had relations with Avishag. She suggested that they get married. Amar lo, he said to her, Asirasli, you're forbidden to me because I already have 18 wives. Amra le, so she said to him, Chasre leganva nafshe l'shlama nokit. And Rashi explains, Chasre leganva nafshe l'shlama nakat kishaganev chaser, when the thief, when there's nothing there, she'eno motzi makam lignov, he doesn't have anything to steal, machzik atzmo ba'navi, he holds himself like he's a humble person, ki ish shalom, like he's a man of peace. And what she was saying to David HaMelech was, Kilomar means to say, mipnei shezakanta v'tashash kochacha, since you're old and you're weak, ata omer shani asur lach, that's why you're saying you're forbidden to me, but really you can't be with me anyhow because you're too old. And the Gemara continues, Amar lahu, so he said to them, he said to his servants, Kiru li leVassheva, call for me Bathsheva. Uchsiv, and it's written in the pasuk, Vatavo Bathsheva al-Hamelech achadr, it says Bathsheva, she came to the king to the room. And the Gemara says, Amar Rav Yehuda Marav, Rav Yehuda says that Rav says, Ba'osa shah, at that moment, Kincha Bathsheva b'shlosh esrei mapos, Bathsheva wiped herself with 13 cloths, and Rashi explains, Kincha Bathsheva, what it means to say is, Shebo aleh yud gimel bios, that he had relations with her, David HaMelech had relations with her 13 times, Umekaneches bein tashmish letashmish, it means that she would wipe between each time, Uva mikra zeh ksuvim shlosh esrei tevos, in this pasuk, there are 13 words, it says, Vatava Bathsheva al HaMelech achadra v'HaMelech zaken mod, v'avishak hashunamis mishares es HaMelech. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Shemin bar Abba, Rav Shemin bar Abba says, Bo re'ei kama koshin gerish, and come and see how difficult divorce is. Sharei David HaMelech hitiru lo liyached, because David HaMelech was allowed to be in seclusion with Avishag, velo hitiru lo legarish, but they did not allow him to divorce one of the wives so that he'd be able to marry Avishag. And Rashi explains, hitiru lo liyached im Avishag, again, he was allowed to be in seclusion with Avishag, v'yafa b'shenesar yichud shel penuya, even though a person is generally not allowed to be in seclusion with an unmarried woman, velo but they did not allow him to divorce Achas miyud ches, one of his 18 wives, v'isa'ena, that he should be able to marry her. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Eliezer says, Kol hamegarish es ishto rishona, anyone who divorces his first wife, afilu mizbeach morid olav demos, even the mizbeach it drops tears, it cries over this. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, V'zos shenis tasu, this also you do. Kasos dimmas mizbech Hashem, you cover with tears the mizbech of Hashem. B'chi v'anaka me'enod, penos ala mincha v'lakachas ritzon miyedchem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, doesn't affect your offering. Uchsivin, it's also written in the pasuk, V'amartem almon, you say about what? Al ki Hashem heyed beincho ve'in eishes nurecha, asher ata bagarta, but it's because of your rebellion on the wife of your youth, v'hi chavertzcha v'yeshes brisecha, and she is your companion. And so you see from the pasuk is saying somebody divorces, somebody rejects his first wife, the Mizbeach cries. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, V'yitema Rabbi Lazar, some say Rabbi Lazar says, Ein ishto shel adam mesa el imkein mevakshin mimenu mamon ve'ein lo. A person's wife doesn't die unless they want money from him, unless he owes money and he can't pay it. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, V'mein lecha l'shalem, if you can't pay, Lama yikach mishkavcha mitachtecha. Why should he take away your bed from under you? And the Gemara continues, V'yamar Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yochanan says, Kol adam shemesa ishto rishon, any person whose first wife dies, ki ilu chorav beis hamikdash b'yamav, it's as if the beis hamikdash was destroyed in his time. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Ben adam hinni lokech mimchas machmar einecha b'magefa, I'm going to take the desires of your eyes in a plague, lo sisped v'lo sivke v'lo savo dimascha, uchsivin, it's also written, V'adaber lam baboker v'atamas ishti bo'erev, I spoke to the people in the morning and my wife died in the evening. Uchsivin, it's also written in the pasuk, Hinni mechalis mikdashi go'un uzchem machmar einechem, it talks about the desecration of the Beis HaMikdash, and that's why the pasuk is alluding to the fact that anyone whose first wife dies, it's as if the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed in his days. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rab Alexandri says, Kol adam shemesa ishto b'yamav, any person who his wife dies while he's alive, Olam choshech ba'ado, the world is dark for him. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Or choshech bi'alo v'nero alav yidach, it says that it's dark for him and his light fails him. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina, Amar Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina says, Psiosav miskatros, his steps are shortened, his walking is hobbled. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Yetzru tzadi ono, his iniquitous strides are hobbled. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Avo says that Atzaso nofeles, his counsel falls. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Vatashlicheyu Atzaso, and his counsel, his advice shall cast him down. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabba bar Barchana, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabba bar Barchana says that Rabbi Yochanan says, Kasha lizavgam kekriyas yamsuf. It is difficult to pair up people to make shidduchim like the tearing of the yamsuf. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Elokim Moshe v'yechidim beisam motzi asirim bekosharos. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu settles individuals in a house, meaning he causes marriage, that's like motzi asirim bekosharos. That's like taking out prisoners, which is a reference to kriyas yamsuf. And the Gemara continues, Ini, is that really true? V'amar Rav Yehuda Marav, didn't Rav Yehuda say that Rav said, Arboim Yom Kodem Yetziras HaVlad, 40 days before the Vlad, before the fetus is created, is formed, Baskol Yotzes V'omeres, a Baskol comes out and says, Bas Ploni LePloni, the daughter of so-and-so will marry so-and-so. So it seems as though Shidduchim are easy. And the Gemara answers, Lokash, it's not difficult, Habezivag Rishon, Habezivag Sheni. In one case, we're talking about the first marriage. By the first marriage, that's where the Baskol goes out 40 days before, but in the second marriage, that is Kasha Kekriyas Yamsuf. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Shmuel bar Nachman, Rav Shmuel bar Nachman says, L'chol yesh tamura, for everything there is a substitute, chutz me'eshes neurim, except for a person's wife from the times of his youth. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, ve'eshes neurim kisemois, and the wife of your youth, can she be rejected? And the Gemara continues, Masni la Rav Yehuda la Rav Yitzchak berei, Rav Yehuda taught Rav Yitzchak his son, Ein adam motzi koras ruach ela me'ishto rishona. A person only finds calmness of spirit from his first wife. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Yimakarcha baruch usmach me'eshes, you should rejoice from the wife of your youth. And we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Chav Beis Amud Beis.